Introduction to Percentage Deals, Transforming Actor Compensation in the Film Industry. Unlock the secret to a thriving, future-proof career in the film industry with Percentage Deals, Transforming Actor Compensation in the Film Industry by Simon. In a world where traditional flat fees leave creative professionals shortchanged, this indispensable guide reveals how profit-sharing models can turn every performance into an enduring asset, securing long-term financial stability, and elevating your creative influence. Many actors and industry insiders once faced an uphill battle grappling with opaque contracts, ambiguous revenue definitions, and a culture that undervalues genuine artistic contribution. Simon's book confronts these challenges head-on, offering innovative, step-by-step strategies for negotiating clear, standardized contracts and building the financial literacy essential to transforming your work into a continuous income stream. Inside, you'll discover proven negotiation techniques to secure your rightful praise, percentage from every revenue channel, insider insights into reshaping contract terms for transparency and long-term partnership, real-life success stories that demonstrate how profit sharing can redefine your career trajectory, practical tools and resources designed for actors, agents, and creative professionals determined to demand the fair compensation they deserve. Perfect for actors, producers, industry professionals, and anyone passionate about redefining film financing. Percentage Deals is your roadmap to transforming traditional compensation methods into a proper, sustainable, future-ready system. If you're ready to break free from outdated pay structures and step into a new era of shared success, your journey begins here. Embrace your work, master your negotiations, and secure the legacy of your creativity. Grab your copy now and start reshaping your future today. My name is Simon Blake. Do visit emotionalpreparation.com. It has hundreds of emotions. Let's start the book introduction. Imagine a scene on a film set where every line spoken and every pause taken holds the promise of a shared reward, a reward that goes far beyond a paycheck received after a long day's work. Picture an industry where actors are not simply hired for a moment in the limelight, but are seen as indispensable partners whose dedication and craft secure a lasting share in the film's success. This book is born from that vision, a vision rooted in the unyielding belief that when artists receive their rightful percentage of a project's overall returns, the entire industry is set on a path toward lasting dynamism and creative prosperity. The reality we face today is that the survival of the film industry hinges on rethinking a system that, for too long, has devalued the contributions of those who bring stories to life. In a sphere where over 95% of creative work risks collapse without fair compensation, the traditional method of flat fee payments has left too many talented individuals struggling to maintain their careers. Consider the many nights spent by actors perfecting their craft, pouring hours into preparation without the promise of long-term security. Every role, big or small, demands an investment of both emotion and technical skill that, under conventional arrangements, is hardly acknowledged. Asking for a percentage of the project's gross or net profits is not a plea for more money. It is a call for respect, for stability, and for recognition of the true value that artists bring to the table. This book invites you to explore a transformation that has been years in the making. It tells the story of a shift from straightforward, transactional agreements towards models where creative professionals share in the success they help create, The inspiration behind these pages comes from personal experiences and hard-won lessons learned in boardrooms and on set. I have seen firsthand the toll exacted by deals that render artists vulnerable to the whims of fleeting box office fortunes. And I have also witnessed the subtle power of percentage agreements that tie an actor's income to the ongoing accomplishments of a film. This book invites you to explore a transformation that has been years in the making. It tells the story of a shift from straightforward, transactional agreements towards models where creative professionals share in the success they help create. The inspiration behind these pages comes from personal experiences and hard-won lessons learned in boardrooms and on set. I have seen firsthand the toll exacted by deals that render artists vulnerable to the whims of fleeting box office fortunes. And I have also witnessed the subtle power of percentage agreements that tie an actor's income to the ongoing accomplishments of a film. It is this transformation that we now have the chance to understand clearly and to spread as a new standard for fairness. Some might be surprised to learn that the idea of percentage deals is not merely a modern-day innovation, but a necessary response to an industry built on risk and compromise. There was a time when quick cash was enough to keep the engines of film rolling. Today, however, when a film's success is measured in billions and global reach, the mismatch grows impossibly large. The key players on screen are left with a fraction of the rewards, while large sums are funneled to financiers and producers. A stark statistic has emerged from industry insiders, a reminder that when actors are offered a mere one-time fee, the incentive to refine and improve their art diminishes. The ability of an actor to invest in their craft through acting classes, rehearsals, and continuous self-improvement depends largely on the promise of recurring rewards for their effort. When that promise is broken, so too is the promise of a sustainable, creative future. Consider the impact of the single percentage point in a blockbuster's earnings. For an actor who has dedicated years to perfecting their performance, that point represents not just an extra dollar earned, but recognition of creative resilience and ongoing collaboration. Each film becomes more than a one-off job. It transforms into a stepping stone toward security, a sign that every contribution matters. Rather than accepting the notion that art is a one-time performance, percentage deals encourage a perspective in which each performance lays a foundation for future success. In doing so, these agreements shift the focus from short-term gains to long-term achievements and necessary change in an industry where permanence is constantly threatened by ephemeral trends. Throughout these pages, you will encounter a wealth of stories, accounts from actors who have fought for their share and from producers who have seen the benefits of aligning compensation with a film's overall performance. There is a raw honesty in these narratives, a reflection of countless late-night negotiations and moments of hard-won victory. They reveal a recurring theme. Artistic contributions must be valued in a manner that honors both the immediate risk taken on set and the lasting impact of a well-crafted performance. Every time an actor negotiates for a share of the gross or net profits, they are making a statement that the dedication invested in the role is as valuable as the final product delivered to audiences worldwide. The shift toward percentage deals is not without its challenges and skeptics. There are those who argue that linking compensation to a film's earnings introduces an element of uncertainty, a gamble where artistic merit is measured against the unpredictable tides of profit. Yet, This very uncertainty underscores the robust nature of creative work. Art, by its very design, battles against chance every time it is born. In a profession where improvisation and spontaneity have long been key ingredients for success, assigning a share in the overall earnings simply makes sense. This new approach does not guarantee riches on every set, but it does guarantee that the risks taken are never entirely free from a rewarded principle that strikes at the heart of fairness. Remember, I am Simon Blake. Do visit emotional preparation. Calm. It is important for every individual within the film community, whether a struggling newcomer, finding their first role, or a veteran who has seen the cycles of highs and lows, to realize that the call for percentage deals is a call for survival. As the industry evolves and faces new challenges, the models that once sustained it must evolve too. The promise of a percentage deal is a promise of shared destiny, where the triumphs of the film lift every creative soul involved, ensuring that no one is left behind when the credits roll. It is a framework built on a simple yet powerful idea. When every participant has a stake in the success of a project, the creative drive becomes an investment, not just in a film, but in a career. The rationale behind this model extends beyond mere monetary considerations. It is about the recognition that collaborative projects are more than the sum of their parts. When actors receive a slice of the profits, they are not just signing a contract, they are entering a partnership with every other hand that contributes to the film's success. The beauty of a percentage agreement lies in its ability to create a situation where success is communal. Each well-executed performance, every line delivered with passion, contributes to a collective achievement. The correlation between an actor's creative risk and their potential rewards can be seen as a microcosm of the entire film ecosystem. When one part wins, everyone does. I invite you to think back on the countless instances where a fixed fee failed to capture the real essence of a performance. How many times was a moment on screen misrepresented by a contract that reduced it to a mere wage? Such transactions have long upheld a system where the ephemeral nature of film has permitted the true depth of artistic contributions to be undervalued. This book is an effort to rewrite that narrative, to replace the outdated conventions with a modern Birds model that recognizes and rewards the craft in a sustainable way. The stories you will read come from a rich tapestry of experiences, from the quiet, almost secretive negotiations in shadowy corners of production offices to the public confrontations that sent ripples through the highest tiers of film financing. They speak of a time not too distant when actors had no choice but to accept minimal returns for roles that defined a generation. They remind us that without a robust system to protect and reward their art, the very foundation of what makes storytelling possible is threatened. By sharing these experiences and insights, this book aims to spark a conversation that is vital for every actor, producer, and stakeholder in the film world. At its core, the narrative presented here is a call for a more equitable sharing of success, a call for systems that mirror the realities of modern film production. The journey toward wider acceptance of percentage deals is not simply an industry trend, but a reaffirmation of what it means to value art. It is a statement that every performance on screen, every sacrifice made in pursuit of artistic excellence, deserves to be recognized in both the moment of creation and in the long arc of a flourishing career. As you immerse yourself in the pages ahead, let the underlying message carry you forward. that the future of film depends on practitioners who are as invested in their own futures as they are in the projects to which they bring life. The move toward percentage deals is more than a change in financial terms. It is a step toward a cultural shift where passion, risk, and reward are shared by all. With this understanding, the industry can tread a new path, one where talent is consistently honored, and the art of film promises a future that is bright and sustainable. This book stands as a guide and a manifesto for those who believe that a fair share in creative endeavors is not too much to ask, rather a fundamental right. Every actor, every artist, every storyteller has the potential to not merely survive in this competitive arena, but to thrive when the payment structures align with the risk and creative investment inherent in every role. The path toward a lasting, rewarding career becomes clearer, brighter, and more just. May these pages serve as both a wake-up call and a blueprint for change, a reminder that every percentage point negotiated is a stride toward a future where artistic commitment is met with its true worth, and where the stories told on screen are reflective not only of creative genius, but also of a fair and vibrant financial reality. Chapter 1. The Changing Landscape of the Film Industry. From the very beginning, the idea that percentage is the only way forward for the industry has not been merely a theory, it's been a necessity. I remember the countless nights spent mulling over the fate of a business where talent ran dry and creative energy withered under the weight of unfair deals. The industry we see today is a product of decisions made long ago, where actors were merely seen as extras playing supporting roles in the grand scheme of day. Profitability. As more money flowed into film projects, a critical question remained unanswered. Who reaps the benefits when the lights dim? And the credits roll? Years back, when I was still carving out my place in this circle, I witnessed firsthand how producers and top executives controlled the narrative. Their strategies were simple: pay as little as possible for raw talents, leaving those who truly powered the films with crumbs to sustain their craft. It was a system designed to keep creative voices confined, where actors produced performance after performance for nominal returns until they were left with nothing but reminiscences of passion. I have seen the toll it takes not only on careers, but on the soul of the filmmaking spirit. Increasingly, it became clear that the future of this field would belong to those who could transform the way deals were struck and talent was valued. The notion that actors should receive a share of both the gross and net profits of a project is more than just revolutionary business strategy. It is a lifeline for creative professionals, a promise of fairness that acknowledges months of hard work, countless auditions, and the emotional labor invested in each role. The concept is straightforward, and in its simplicity, it harbors the immense power to rewrite the rules of engagement in an industry that has grown cold and indifferent over time. I have spent much of my professional life forging relationships, building trust with those few who cared enough about integrity. In a world where names and top-tier executives often shroud themselves in secrecy, I had the opportunity to witness a different side-to-side that refused to let ambition override fairness and talent. This personal journey gave me the strength to stand by my conviction. I would only work with those who respected my talent and understood the real value behind every scene, every emotion, every silent beat that fuels an actor's spirit. The majority of projects up until now have placed the lion's share of profits in the hands of those who finance and produce films. It has led to a cycle of diminishing returns for the very people whose talents are front and center. When an actor steps in front of the camera, they carry not only the hopes of the production, but also the weight of years of training and sacrifice. It becomes more than just a paycheck. It is a representation of continuous personal and professional investment. The call for percentage deals is a call for respected demand that recognition comes in the form of shared rewards when films succeed. I recall a time when a promising actor was offered a role based solely on the promise of future screens and a promise of percentage profits that was, in reality, an empty gesture. The actor, eager to seize any sliver of opportunity in a highly competitive field, signed on, only to discover later that the numbers were a ruse. The experience left many feeling disillusioned and betrayed, a stark reminder that without proper compensation structures, the very fabric of the industry is at risk. Each unsatisfactory deal contributes to a broader decline, where the creative minds are left impoverished, not just economically but in spirit as well. There is a harsher truth to be faced. The industry's leadership has too often overlooked the value of those who bring stories to life. An unspoken hierarchy has long dictated that money is the ultimate measure of worth, relegating true artistic commitment to a secondary status. I have seen it happen time and time again, top executives distancing themselves from public acknowledgement of actors, or even admitting to personal connections with the talent they have exploited. That silence, that refusal to recognize genuine talent, speaks volumes about an environment driven by greed and a relentless pursuit of profit at any cost. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to observe how various sectors that have once flourished under similar deals are now witnessing new models of compensation. The music world, for example, provides an intriguing contrast. There, artists and their collaborators share in the rewards of hits that not only transform the projects, that not only transform the prices of white charts, but also their lives. When I view these models, it's hard not to question why a similar, equitable approach has been so slow to take root in film. If we can see performers in one industry reaping the benefits of their work, why must the film industry hold on to an outdated system that sidelines the very individuals common? Driving its success? The idea of percentage deals is not a mere financial arrangement. It is a commitment to a more balanced future. It is rooted in the belief that creative work holds intrinsic value, a value that cannot be abrased in revolute, measured only in the upfront fee or the diminishing returns that come with each project. By receiving a share of the gross and net profits, actors gain a stake in the success of a film. This shift means that every role performed is not an isolated event, but rather a contribution to a larger, ongoing narrative of personal growth, industry innovation, and sustainable creative careers. I have had the chance to talk with many actors who have fought tirelessly for their fair share. Many shared stories of strains with talent agents and managers who preferred safe, standardized deals over bold risks that recognized their hard work. There is no denying the level of effort that goes into refining a craft. Months, and sometimes even years, of intense preparation, growth, and self-affirmation all add up to a performance or role that can change the course of a project. It is an imbalance that can no longer be justified when the true cost of artistic commitment is measured in sweat, tears, and countless hours of training. It has become evident that for actors, asking for percentage deals is not about greed. It is about the survival of a craft that demands continued work on oneself. It is about ensuring that every role taken is an opportunity not just to deliver a performance, but to invest in one's own future. The industry's current method, where artists are seen as expendable once the film is made, leads to a cycle where talent is undervalued and the passion for the art is slowly drained away. This imbalance not only stifles creativity, but also creates a vast gap between the short-term gains of a project and the long-term investments made by its performers.